I was exhausted and lost all hope of escaping. That was it. I'd never get out of there. Imagine my shock when I heard a voice behind me.
You weren't supposed to see this!
Hi, I'm Judy, and this is my unique home. It was designed by my dad. He's a famous architect. The house was huge and easy to get lost in. That's why I often called it a palace. Rumor had it that there were mysterious treasures hidden inside its walls. Of course, that was nonsense. Dad left the house to me and Mom before he left us. After a while, Mom remarried. I didn't mind because I was mad at Dad for abandoning us. After that, I lived with my stepfather, Mom, and stepsister Zoe. I also had an amazing boyfriend. His name was Brandon.
Aww.
I was happy until it all began on my birthday. My family and friends made it special and gave me a ton of gifts. I felt like the queen until another guest showed up at my party. Hello, everyone. I wasn't invited, but I'm sure Judy is over the moon I'm here. Over the moon? My heart sank when I recognized Maria. Oh, how do I explain who she was? You know the saying, with friends like these, who needs enemies? That was about people like Maria. We met when we were kids. I was shopping with Mom when I saw a girl steal a cake. Hey, geezer! Get your hands off me!
You little thief!
I'll make sure you go to juvie. I was sure she was just hungry. Feeling sorry for the girl, I stood up for her and paid for the cake. Judy, that girl comes from a bad family. Stay away from her. People like her are nothing but trouble. That evening, I heard someone throw pebbles at my window. How did you find me? Did you follow me here? Yeah, I was like a little spy. Why are you here? I wanted to thank you. My family's poor, so rich people like you often look at me like I'm trash. But you're different. You're kind. I'll never forget when someone's kind to me. Come on, I'll show you something cool. I don't know. It's so late. Don't be such a baby. Do you want to stay here like a princess locked in a tower until you're old? To be honest, I liked staying at home, but Maria's words lit a fire under me. I quickly climbed out of the window to join her. Where are we going? To my secret treehouse. I'll show you a treasure no amount of money can buy. And she did. The view from the tree was stunning. We watched the sun sink below the horizon as we chatted. Unfortunately, the evening didn't end well. When it got dark, I tried to climb down the tree but fell and hurt my leg. After that, I had to stay home for several days. Maria visited me every evening, even though my stepsister and Mom hated that. That brat has absolutely no manners. Judy, she's only hanging out with you to leech off you. She envies you. I didn't listen to them because hanging out with Maria was fun. But over time, I noticed that each time my friend dragged me on an adventure, it ended badly for me. Maria didn't know when to stop. Whenever I was with her, I constantly got into trouble. I was only able to breathe a sigh of relief after Maria moved to another city. A few years went by and she came back to turn my life upside down. I came to wish you a happy birthday. I don't have a gift for you though. Sorry. But aren't I the greatest present? You haven't changed at all. Just as noisy and reckless. By the way, I have nowhere to stay. You don't mind if I hang at your place for a while, do you? Just the thought of Maria living with me for a few days was giving me a migraine. But I tried to be a good host. Of course not. Stay as long as you need. My family wasn't too happy to see Maria. She was from a different world, and it was clear she did not fit into ours. I couldn't bring myself to kick her out on the street, though. At some point, our butler came up to me and handed me a phone. Judy, it's your father. He wants to congratulate you. Tell him he's not my father. Will do. Are you still pissed at your dad? He pays huge alimony and left you this gorgeous house. He's still a traitor who abandoned my family. I don't want to have anything to do with him. Sorry, bud, but you're acting like a spoiled princess. I'd be on a cloud 9 if I had a dad like yours. I held back from blowing up on Maria. My relationship with Dad was none of her business. Soon the party came to an end. Phew, the guests have left. Let's play Twister in my room? Sure, I'm in. I mean, if there's nothing better to do. Less than an hour later, Maria got bored. I think I'll take a look around the house. This party makes me feel like I'm 100 years old. She's such a jerk. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah, I bet she went looking for something to steal. Stop it. Maria is just very outspoken. She might come off as rude, but she's not that bad. Still, you shouldn't let her wander around by herself. Perhaps Brandon and my stepsister were right. Maria was gone for too long, and I went looking for her. I found her in our guest room. She was looking at a huge mirror and started when I appeared behind her. Ah! You scared me! I thought you were that butler. That creep was walking down the hallway in total darkness like a psycho. Don't slander him. He's been working for us for a year now. He's a good guy. What are you doing here? I just saw something interesting. What's that? She pointed to an unusual keyhole in the mirror. A door, maybe? Your imagination's running wild. It's just a decoration. We came back to my room. Brandon and Zoe immediately teamed up against Maria, but she certainly knew how to stand up for herself. Have you stolen anything yet? What about you and Zoe? You've been here this whole time, huh? What were you doing, I wonder? That's enough! To distract them, I suggested we play a board game. Okay, let's make it more interesting though. The loser has to do what the winner tells them. Everyone nodded and sat down on the floor. Soon, Zoe lost and then Brandon. It's just us now, Judy. Ready to fight? I'm always ready. The stakes were too high. I knew that if Maria won, she would make me do something outrageous. And soon, she did win. I want your palace to be mine for 3 days, Judy. Meanwhile, you can stay in my old treehouse. Or you could go to your father. You're nuts. This is too much to ask for. Oh, why are you growling like a rabid chihuahua? This is between Judy and me. She's right, Brandon. Maria won fair and square. I'm not chickening out now. Wow, you're surprisingly calm about this, princess. I knew that Maria chose such a wish because she thought I was a soft marshmallow who wouldn't survive a day without servants. I wanted to prove to her that she was wrong, and I knew how to fight for myself. It's your turn to be a princess, Maria. But after this, I want you out of my life. Sure, if that's what you want. We shook hands, and in the morning, I packed some necessities and told Mom I was going camping with my class. Maria will be staying in my room until I get back. This is a disaster. We'll have to disinfect the whole house after she leaves. I picked up my backpack and took one last look at my home. It felt like my friend was replacing me. I had no intention of going to my father. Instead, I headed to that old treehouse. The view was as stunning as I remembered, but the house was old, and it showed. It was falling apart. When it started to rain, I quickly got cold and wet. Achoo! I can't stay here! I thought about going home, but then I imagined Maria's ugly laugh. You didn't even last a day, you weakling! Heck no! I wouldn't give her that satisfaction. I had to hold on. However, when it got dark, my stomach was in knots. Terrible sounds were surrounding me. Every shadow looked like a toothy monster. I told myself my imagination was just running wild. But then I saw someone in a creepy mask in the bushes. That became the last straw for me, and I ran out of there with a screech. I've had enough! Long story short, I ended up going to my dad's apartment after all. As soon as he opened the door and I saw him, I felt nauseous. Judy, sweetie, it's so good to see you. You haven't answered my calls in years. Make no mistake, I'm not here for you. I just need a place to stay for a few days. Is something wrong? Did you have a fight with your mom? You can tell me. I've got a better idea. Let's just pretend I'm not here. You're good at forgetting about your family, right? Honey, I know you're angry at me for leaving you, but I just had to do it. It was all your mother's fault. Don't you slander Mom! You left me, but she stayed. Judy, save it. Which room is mine? I locked myself in my new room because I didn't want to be anywhere near that man. Maria and her idiotic challenge made my blood boil. I can't wait to be done with this and go back to my perfect life. Achoo! Dang it! I caught a cold. I took out my phone, hoping my boyfriend would distract me. Hi, how are you doing? Sorry, Judy. I'm busy at a training camp with our soccer team. Oh, wonderful. It was officially the worst day of my life. Lonely and bored, I decided to take a look around my dad's apartment. To my surprise, I saw a gift box with my name on it in his study. Dad must have wanted to send it to me for my birthday. I was about to look inside it, but Judy, no! I've changed my mind about giving this. Oh, that's just like you. Did you change your mind about having a family as easily? I stormed out of the room, but curiosity got the better of me. The next morning, while Dad was still asleep, I came back to his study and opened the box. Inside it was a beautiful key and note. Judy, when I designed our house, I built a secret room for you to play in, but it only brought me grief. If you want to find out who your real friends are, use this key. But you need to be sure. Do you really want to know the truth about your loved ones? What a strange note. What was the key for? And then I remembered the keyhole in the mirror. Was that a door? If there was a room hidden behind it, I figured I could stay there for the next few days. It was better than hanging out in a treehouse or in my dad's apartment. I took the keys, snuck into my home, and opened the secret door behind the mirror. I knew I'd need to get the key out again, so I gripped it tight, afraid to lose it. Behind the door was a corridor. It ran parallel to all the other corridors in the house. I went ahead to find out where it led. Imagine my surprise when I realized all the mirrors in the corridors were one way. I could see everything that was going on in the house, but no one saw me. Soon, I saw Maria, who was walking somewhere with that creepy mask that scared me in her hands. That witch! She was the bastard who hid in the bushes and almost gave me a heart attack. Just you wait. You'll pay for it. Then I sneezed loudly, but Maria didn't hear me. That's how I realized that although I could perfectly hear every sound in the house, no one could hear me. I kept walking and saw our butler through another mirror. He looked around carefully and then called someone. "Boss, I searched every corner of the house, but I couldn't find the hidden treasure. It appears those were silly rumors. There's still a lot here we could sell though." He put Mom's expensive pendant in his pocket and I froze in shock. It was crazy. The butler we trusted turned out to be a thief. I decided to deal with him later and moved on. Through another mirror, I suddenly saw Brandon. Wasn't he supposed to be at a training camp? I wanted to call him and ask him about it, but realized there was no signal in the secret corridor. Then Zoe came out of the room and started making out with Brandon? Tears stung my eyes. I couldn't believe it. How long had they been going out behind my back? Maria realized everything right away, but I was a blind moron. I wanted to come out and make a scene, but then I saw a door in the corridor. There seemed to be light coming from behind it. Oh my gosh, what is this? I looked around and saw a cheerful inscription saying it was the Pirate Bay game room. That was probably what Dad had been talking about in his note. The skeleton and the gold are made of plastic. I decided it was time to get out of there and get back at everyone who had made a fool out of me. But then I realized I had dropped the key into a crack. I couldn't open the door without it and started banging on one of the mirrors. "Mom, I'm here! Let me out!" But it was no use. No one saw or heard me. Soon, I ran out of strength and passed out. When I woke up, I couldn't tell how much time I'd been there. This is it. I'm never getting out of here.
You weren't supposed to see this. Sweetie, are you all right?
What? Dad? How did you find me? I should probably start from the beginning. I didn't know what to give to you for your birthday and decided to help you make up with your dad. So I made sure you ended up at his place so you could talk. The hardest part was figuring out how to chase you out of my treehouse. You used that creepy mask to scare me. Yeah, then you stopped answering my messages, so I got worried and came to your father. When Maria said you weren't at home, I checked the gift box and saw that you had taken the key. It was clear where you were. Luckily, I had a spare key. What is this place anyway? I wanted to build a small amusement park here for you, Judy. But then I saw your mother cheat on me with my best friend through one of the mirrors and couldn't keep working on this project. That betrayal was too much for me. I left you with the house and moved out without telling anyone about this secret passage. I was planning to give you the key but changed my mind. After all, thanks to this place, I learned an unpleasant truth, and it destroyed our family. I didn't want you to go through the same thing. The truth can hurt, but now I know who my real friends are. Maria, I was wrong. I don't want you to disappear from my life. Dad, I'm sorry I refused to talk to you all those years. I hugged them and went outside. It was time for revenge. I broke up with Brandon that very day and broke off all contact with my stepsister. Mom got her reckoning too. I know our family split up because of you. I'll never forgive you for that. Then I came up to our butler and threw the plastic gold at him. This is the treasure you've been looking for. You're going to jail for theft. It's weird how one little key changed my whole life. I'm really glad I found out the truth about everyone, but learning to trust people again isn't easy. Would you choose to find out the dark secrets of your loved ones that could ruin your relationships? Or should some secret rooms never be opened?